Celebrate our military past and present at the inaugural Downtown Tacoma Military Celebration Parade. Veterans past and present from all of our armed services will be honored during the parade Saturday, August 24th along Pacific Avenue. Active duty, reserve, and veteran organizations will all be on hand. Show them your thanks for their dedication and service to our country. Mark your calendars for the Celebrating Military Service Parade Saturday, August 24th in downtown Tacoma.
Good morning. Welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have two gentlemen who are here to talk about celebrating military service, and one of them will look very familiar to you. Please join me in welcoming back Mr. Steve James. You are the executive director for, actually, the Daffodil Festival. You are the guy behind the scenes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Last time I saw you was when I was a judge, and even then, you never rest. You were running around with a clipboard, making sure that everything just kind of fits together. So it's great to have you sitting down.
Thank you.
Talking with me.
But I do prefer the behind the scenes.
Do you?
But
okay.
That's fine.
Well, I think you're going to be okay this way.
Okay.
You brought, always love a man in a uniform, Lieutenant Colonel Curt Simonson from Washington Army National Guard. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Good to have you on Cityline. All right. Well, you are known for the Daffodil Festival. Wherever we go, we see you. We know that there can't be princesses or princess activity too far behind. So the Daffodil Festival has really become much more in the spotlight this past year. And now we have a Daffodil Festival parade in August. So give us the background here, Mr. Steve.
We work with all of the mayors in the area, and Mayor Strickland has come to me for the last couple of years and really wanted an evening parade in Tacoma. Obviously, April's not the time to do an evening parade.
No.
It's not the best. So we charted out, because after the Daffodil Parade, we're off at 32 different parades. So our calendar's pretty full. And so we looked at the available dates, and I said, well, if we're going to do a parade, we want to guarantee good weather, let's go with August. And so that's where we picked August 24th. And I said, if we do a parade, we do enough with the clowns and the pirates and the bands, and there's nothing wrong with those, but we do those a lot. And we had just done some research and realized that this was something that Pierce County and City of Tacoma was missing. And so when I presented it to her, I said, if we're going to do a parade, let's do something that has meaning and honor and respect. And
yes.
She was, yes, let's do it. And I hadn't told her yet. And I said, let's do an all-military parade. And so through the research, we found that it has been at least 55 years since the last military parade through Tacoma. So we went to the Northwest Room at the Tacoma Library to look at the archives, at the pictures, and it is just fantastic.
This was probably the last one.
We traced that one back in the 30s. We think the late 30s, right before World War II, but the last parade that we can find is right about 56, and it was an Armed Forces Day parade.
Oh my gosh.
So when we presented it, it didn't take her long. She said, oh, I love it. And then the city got behind it and said, we want to help support it. Well, here the city and we both were with not really planning in our budgets to do this, so we've had to, grassroots and make this an event a reality. So
how incredible. Boy, this footage is unbelievable. Is this actually downtown Tacoma?
It's downtown Tacoma.
Oh my gosh, this is worth its weight in gold. So I said to you that growing up as a daughter with my father in the Air Force, I can't remember a parade that I have been to when there wasn't the military in it. It's like taking the peanut butter out of the peanut butter and jelly.
Right.
You don't go to a parade unless there's military in it. So I am very happy to see that tradition resurrected. So let's talk about who is going to be in the parade.
Well, one of the things is for the Daffodil Parade, we'll have 2 to 3 units that are from military, and maybe 3 to 4 color guard, honor guard. This one we're going to have close to 30 units of active military from all branches of the armed forces, including reserves, National Guard. I mean, it's the support from the military has been tremendous. The veterans organizations have been fantastic. I mean, the fact that I've been able to speak with 5 Medal of Honor recipients in the last month is just honoring and humbling as it is. But our Grand Marshal is retired Colonel Joe Jackson, who's a Medal of Honor recipient. This guy's he's a hero.
He's a hero.
He's a bona fide
yes, he is.
hero. And the fact that he is 90 years old, he's going to come down. We have him, and his great-granddaughter is going to ride with him in the parade. And we've on our Facebook, we profiled some of what he has done, and it's just it's amazing that we have the opportunity as a community to come out and support this. That's what's so great.
So was Veterans Day ever in the hopper in your marketing mind about perhaps making the parade on that day?
We support Auburn's Veterans Day Parade. Bremerton also does an Armed Forces Day Parade. We work very well with these other community organizations. Lakewood also, they have a parade coming up in September. So we didn't want to necessarily compete with Auburn. Auburn's is huge. There's so many entries in that. And we wanted to just chisel out something. And a lot of the media have asked, why not around a holiday? And I usually say we don't need a holiday to celebrate military, do we? We can
Every
do it
day
anytime.
is Military Day.
And so we thought if you want a beautiful night, downtown Tacoma, great weather, let's do August.
That's perfect. So I have to ask the obvious questions before I talk with Mr. Handsome Curt over here about the princesses. Tell me you're bringing the princesses.
Yeah, they have to work that day, so they are going to be hustling. So they won't be on floats. Everyone participating in the parade has either served or is currently serving.
Okay.
So if somebody needs help or assistance, they're going to be working. So
okay. Now, when you say served or serving, you're talking about the princesses, or are you talking about military? Okay.
Military,
because I asked that because if somebody doesn't know, these Daffodil princesses, they sign up for a second life that takes over their own life when they win at their high school level. How many hours do they put in a year, Steve?
Last year it was over 5,100 hours,
okay.
212 appearances.
Oh my gosh.
It just, phone keeps ringing. Can we have princesses?
It does.
Sure, absolutely.
Because we love them. Curt, what does this parade mean for Tacoma?
I think it means an excellent opportunity for all of the military organizations in the surrounding area to link up with Tacoma, and everybody around Tacoma. It's just always a great opportunity to interact with the people that we serve.
Absolutely. And when we talk about that interaction, I mean, this may seem like a very obvious question, but why is that so important given these times that we have?
Yeah. Well, I think it's important on a number of levels. First of all, it's always good for us to get back into the community and just interact with the folks that we serve. And in a parade like this, as Steve mentioned before, we also get to interact with other servicemen and women from Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard that we normally don't interact with on a daily basis. And then, of course, the other thing is we get to interact with those who served before us. So it gives us a link to the past as well.
Exactly. So were you one of the phone calls that was that Steve made in the sense of the accessibility and the transparency he's experienced from the military?
I would say so. When one of the things that I do at Camp Murray is coordinate community outreach events. So when Steve's team contacted me about potentially supporting the parade, we were just all in from the beginning.
I bet. Oh my gosh. So give us an idea. How big is the band? What do the uniforms look like? Give us a little teaser there, Mr. Curt.
Well, my understanding is we're going to see a great cross section of both currently serving folks. And then a bunch of volunteer service organizations in vintage uniforms as well. One of the entries that we're putting in on the Washington Army National Guard side is our Camp Murray Museum is putting in a 1902 era 3-inch howitzer that we're going to pull as a float in the parade. So it's going to be sort of a great combination of present and past as well.
Lovely, yeah, because if we have to honor all of that as we move forward and respect and honor our military and what they've done for us. So how is Sound Transit involved? Because we got to get there.
Sure. It was great. It was we presented Sound Transit with the opportunity of, hey, we have you've got this great train running back and forth, but it's not running on Saturday. And boy, did I find out that there's a lot to do to get that in. They said yes, and so there'll be a train running from Lakewood Station up to Tacoma. So 7 cars. They can hold close to 3,000 people in, and so it'll be no charge. People's families will show their military ID, and they get to ride the train up to Tacoma for no charge, and then it'll return back at about 8:30 that night. So it's the Tacoma Pierce County Chamber of Commerce stepped up with some of their sponsors to pay for that. So we were grateful because we didn't necessarily have the budget for it, and they paid for that, and we're happy to have them be a part of it.
Absolutely. Boy, that is an incredible gift to be given. So we're talking about, you got your wish there, and so did our Mayor Strickland, of August 24th. There's a concert at 5 p.m.
The 56th Army Band is going to perform. They asked, how long do we have? And I said, well, let's go about 45 minutes. They said we could play 3 hours. I said, well, let's go 45 minutes. So they're going to play from 5 till about 5:45. Then they're going to transition from Tullifson Plaza to the start of the parade, which is on 13th in Pacific, and then the parade will start at 6.
How fabulous! How long do you guesstimate the parade's going to last?
It's going to be at a different speed than the Daffodil Parade, so people aren't going to be hustling and dancing by. It's going to be more of a slower, respectful parade pace. Because there's some veterans organizations that don't really want to hustle down Pacific.
Well, absolutely.
So,
they can stroll down because they've earned the right to stroll.
Absolutely.
And, of course, the restaurants will be open.
Yes.
And knowing you've already arranged for beautiful weather because whatever Steve wants, Steve always gets.
Yeah, except for this last Daffodil Parade, which it poured rain on. But yes.
Yes, but we had great prior ones.
Yes.
And the great thing about this parade, in addition, is there's no other place for you guys to have to rush off to. Because usually we get a snippet of the military and the Daffodil Parade, and boom, you're off to the 10 other places, I'm exaggerating, that you have to be to that day.
One question I was asked is, why Daffodil Festival? You're not going to have flowers, you're not going to have this. And I just said, quite simply, we're the ones that are silly enough to do 4 parades in one day, so obviously we can put on 1 parade. And so yeah, it's great because we actually can concentrate on the parade. We're actually going to be able to watch the parade.
There you go.
Because usually we're just zipping right through the town. So.
Absolutely. So, my goodness, thank you. Thank you. You continue to raise the bar for the Daffodil Festival, and you continue to inspire. And it hasn't been an easy road, and the festival continues to shine and to bring hope to young girls through education, and the most important thing, giving back to their community. So thank you for being the example for those girls to follow. And for you, my dear, I don't know if there's enough thank yous in the world for what you do and for what you sacrifice for us. And I don't even want to begin to try, or I'm going to tear up. So thank you for all the choices that you've made that keep us safe. And thank you so much for picking up the phone when the phone rang and being so accessible. And this is going to be a great parade. And it's the first one of many to come.
Yes, we are.
Absolutely. All right, when we come back on City Line in these seats,